here in the United States, because so many people do want to come here, we have the choice to pick the exact people who we really want to have come here. I mean, doesn't always work out that way because
I would say not more than 90% of them, they're saying they feel kind of isolated when they come to Korea, because like Korea
has the lowest birth rate in the world.
Sam was saying you need to have immigrants coming into Korea, but at the same time, there's still Koreans leaving Korea as well, right? So how do you make sense of that?
If we will be having a lot of immigrants in Korea, I hope that those immigrants
You're going back to Korea when you graduate?
I want to do a master's degree here in the States.
And then go back?
Probably. I don't have a certain plan for it yet, but like, yeah.
Do you want to get married?
In future, yes, but
you want to have kids?
Yeah.
How many kids do you want?
Oh, probably 2 to 3.
2 to 3?
Yeah. If I'm rich enough to like handle those.
All right, you got it. So here's the thing, right? So I want to have a conversation about immigration from a different perspective, because in the United States, we kind of take immigration for granted. And because so many people are interested in coming here, that it's actually a privilege for us. So Trip, you were saying, like, hey, it took your aunt, was it? 11 years to go from, coming to the United States to actually becoming a citizen, and it seems long and really arduous. But the point being, here in the United States, because so many people do want to come here, we have the choice to pick the exact people who we really want to have come here. I mean, doesn't always work out that way, because obviously a lot of people, we let them in, they come here because their family members are here and so on, so we get our fair share of slackers and so on. But we have the opportunity to really get the best and the brightest, right? And so we have enough. We're never going to be short on immigrants, and we live in a complex, multicultural society. So can you just, like, Korea compared to the U.S., can you just say something about Korea is 95% people of Korean ancestry. Like, when you're in Korea, you know you're in Korea. And here, you're in a very multicultural space. Do you have anything to say about the differences there?
First thing that I noticed here in the States, you can actually hear a lot of different languages when you just walk around, especially the college town. But in Korea, you won't get a chance to hear like different languages. So, yeah, I think that's the most different thing.
It's like when you're in Korea and you're among Koreans, and when you do hear languages, like, do you feel like immigrants in Korea are, how integrated do you think they are, or like, do you have a sense of that?
Oh, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos that immigrants in Korea says about life in Korea. They I would say not more than 90% of them, they're saying they feel kind of isolated when they come to Korea, because like Koreans, I would say they are really good at English, but especially listening and writing, but they're kind of shy, and compared to other skills, they're not good at speaking, so it's kind of hard to make Korean friends for immigrants. And
Koreans are coming, and immigrants are coming from all over.
Yeah. So they say they feel isolated and really hard to make friends.
Okay, so this is a problem for Korea. Mm-hmm. And the reason is because Korea, so here are the birth rates. All over the world, birth rates are dropping. And a birth rate has to be 2.1, meaning that every woman in a society, in a nation, has to have 2.1 children in order for that nation to simply reproduce itself. So 2.1. So you start going below 2.1, that eventually, over time, the nation will no longer exist, because if you go far enough, because you're not reproducing, you're not having enough children. And like, when one woman can't have a child, that means some other woman has to have 4.2 children. So so we see birth rates declining all over the world, except, interestingly enough, in Africa, where the birth rates continue to be much higher, 4.0 and 3.0 and higher, and parts of India. But look at the red. So Korea's in the red. Korea has the lowest birth rate in the world. It's like 0.72. So Korea's experiencing a deep crisis. You talk about this all the time in Korea, right?
A lot.
That's why I asked you if you were planning to have kids. I mean, did you know that's why I asked you?
I just assumed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you need to have kids. You need to have a whole bunch, man. You need to have like 8 kids, bro. So here's the problem. So if you look at the population pyramid, and this is South Korea, look at 1960, and at the bottom of the triangle, or this pyramid, so this is people 0 to 4 years old, people 5 to 9 years old, etc. So look at this. This is good. This is okay, but you need lots of young people to take care of the old people. Because at some point in time, all these people are retired, and they're going to be dependent on the labor of people below them in order to survive. So look here, in 1990, the birth rate starts to shrink. And so now, wait, hang on, we're going to have a problem here, right? When these people start going up. When's that going to be? Okay, 2010. Let's look what happens 2010. Now you got many more older adults. All these people are retired, and this is the workforce that's putting these are folks doing the heavy lifting, but they're taking care of these people, and they're taking care of these people. And then look at 2030 into the future. Look at all these people up here, and there's like fewer and fewer people, and actually this is old because these numbers down here are even more narrow, which means like the folks up here, this is a major crisis. Korea ceases to exist without immigration. So like here in the US, we have this idea that like we have the ability to call in immigrants to help bolster our economy, but you don't have that because you're not a society of immigrants. So you don't know how to live, you don't know how to work with immigrants.
I probably personally think that Korean government is not that friendly to immigrants, especially to when it comes to regulations. So a lot of immigrants in Korea, they just stay in Korea for a short period and then they have to go back.
Yeah, and they go back.
Yeah.
But the Korean government is changing because it knows it has to change.
Yeah,
so
I
a lot
hope
of
so.
policies are changing. So it's kind of interesting, bro.
I'm also curious on like how you think about Koreans leaving Korea. As in, because now Sam was saying you need to have immigrants coming into Korea, but at the same time, there's still Koreans leaving Korea as well, right? So, like, how do you make sense of that? As in, like, you know, your population is declining, but also people are still leaving.
People want to leave, yeah.
So I think it's because of the birth rate. If you see the birth rate, we have in the future we will have a death valley. So we won't have enough workforce. Then, in economic view, one single working force have to support the 3 or 4.
Yeah, it's like let's say 3 elderly people, retired people.
So I think that's the main reason they leave Korea. And then it's, as I said, regulation is really strict in Korea. So I don't think a lot of immigrants can live permanently in Korea. So I think the population in Korea will be declining.
But
still.
yeah, but listen, but that's going to change. So I want to ask you. This is like the United States. We're used to now living in a multicultural world with people here from all over the United States. You know, like this. Go to the East Coast, go to Washington, New York, go to LA, go wherever. It's just people from all over. You're going to have if Korea is going to survive, you're going to have the same thing. Then when you think about the future of you in Korea, that it's going to have to look more like the United States. How is that? How is that for you as a Korean?
If we will be having a lot of immigrants in Korea, I hope that those immigrants could use a lot of resources in Korea, and then they can learn and do a lot of various businesses in Korea, so that they can contribute to Korean economy.
Yeah, like you.
So yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So Korean government can take advantages from those immigrants, and immigrants can take advantages from Korean governments and Korea economy. So I think it's a win-win.
Yeah. So strangely enough, like Korea has to take a lesson of the playbook from the United States, which is retool a society around it. Either A, get people to have more kids, right? Or B, invest more and more in robotics, and Korea leads the world in robotics, right? Or retool around immigration, like a society of immigrants, and that's going to be a big challenge.
Yeah. But we're the death valley that I told you, it's inevitable. So
Yeah.
Korean government should try hard to get immigrant labor forces, and then they also need to put a lot of effort in birth rates controls.
So what's kind of curious is at this time, given what we said earlier, the conversation we have, it's like in a way the whole world is going to be competing for the best and the brightest all over the world. Because Koreans are going to be competing for the smartest Chinese and people from Singapore and people from Japan. And we're competing for those people, including people from Korea. So everybody is competing for the people who are really the best and the brightest and the most hungry to do what they can do. So it's kind of interesting to think about immigration in that way globally, that it's not just one country, it's all countries in a way competing against one another.